Okay guys, so it's about 3:47 a.m. here and I've been trying to make a video on return in Python, basically using returning functions in Python, and I've really been messing things up. I don't know why. I think probably it's because I'm kind of tired. But regardless, so far we've introduced functions, we've seen how to pass in parameters to function, we've seen the concept of local and global variables, and then we've also seen how to pass in default parameters to functions. So today we're going to be looking at return keyword in functions. So you can think of return in Python as a way to put in a value to return a value from a function to probably another function in some cases. So think of it this way. Imagine when you cook when you cook food, you have a pot, you put in a raw food into the pot. That is, those are your parameters that are put in, and then think of the pot as the function. So you cook the food for a certain period of time, and then you get as output a cooked food, right? So what you get at output now is what the pot has returned to you, right? So you can think of it there as the result or as the output returned by the function pot. So let's just be a little bit clear. I don't even know whether this example is a good one, but let's say we want to implement our own version of sum. We have a built-in function called sum, but let's say we want to implement our own version. So let's say def my sum. So we want this to be a function that takes a list of items, or let's say list of numbers. It sums list of numbers together and then it returns the numbers as a result. So what we will do is we can say for number in list of numbers, we could create a variable here called result equals to 0. So we want to be summing, we want to be adding the sum of, we want to be adding the numbers to the result, and at the end we are going to return this result. So let's say result plus equals to number, right? So when we're done with the loop, then we can say return result. All right, Control S. So now let's say we have a list of numbers. Let's say we have a score of student. Score is equals to, so let's say we have 10, 9, 8, 20, 30. Right, so let's say we have this scores as our list, and let's say we want to get the sum of this scores now. So we could do something like this. We could say print, then we call this function my sum, and then we pass in the list of argument, which is what list of numbers here in this case is going to be scores. So we can say scores. Now let's run this and see. Control B. It says 77. So 20 plus 30 is 50, plus 10, 60, plus 9, that's 69. Yeah, so this makes sense, 77, right? So you might think, why not just print result here instead of having to return it? Yeah, right. But then when you start building kind of more complex programs, you get to this situation whereby you have to divide the program into chunks, and each particular chunk just perform a certain computation and then returns result, and then you take that result and then do something else with it. So it usually makes your code more readable and much more um, like smart, and you have component that you can easily reuse. And in the next video I'll actually show us a real life implementation of how to do that and where functions are really useful in that case. So let's extend this a little bit better to make more sense. So in what we've done so far is this: we defined a function my sum which takes in a list of numbers, and then we declare a variable here result as 0 initially. So then we loop into the list of numbers, and then for each iteration of the loop, we add the number to our result, and then when we are done, we return the result. And then so here what happened is that we called my sum, and then my sum pass in the list of numbers here, which is cost, and then the value that is returned as a result of calling this function is being printed out by is being printed out here by the print function. So to make this a little bit clear, let's just remove this first. Let's say final result is equals to, and let's say my sum, and let's say scores. Control S. So at this point, final result here, which is a variable, will will hold the result of calling this function. So whenever you call this function with the parameter of scores, this is going to get executed, and then at this point the return will return the result, which will be saved in this final result parameter. Sorry, variable, in the final result variable. Don't mind me, I'm kind of sleepy. So let's say print final result and see what happens. Control B. Alright, see the result is still the same, 77. So let's say we want to extend this program to find the average of numbers, sorry, of this course. For example, let's say we want to find the average of this course and want to write a program that does that. So we know that the average of a list of numbers is basically their summation divided by their count, right? So we could create another function here, def get, let's call this my average. Then all we have to do is then pass a list of numbers. So now in this case, what we intend to do here is utilize our my sum function to sum of the numbers. So we could do something like this. We could say um, total is equals to my sum. I just want to call the my sum function to get the sum of the numbers. Which numbers? List of numbers. So we can say list of numbers, and then count. Now I want to count the total number of items, so we could say count is equals to len list of numbers. So far we have our total all over the number of items in the list, right? So we can now say return return okay, let's say average is equals to total all over count return average. Alright, so what I've done so far is this: we get this total sum of numbers in the list, and then we get the count of the items in the list, and then we calculate the average, that is total all over count, and then we return the average. So let's see, let's test calling this function. Let's say average is equals to, let's call this final average is equals to, let's say my average scores. Okay, so let's analyze this program so far. What I've done is this: we we have the my sum function that we've already defined here. So we utilize that it has already been defined and then use it to get the total number of of the total of the items in the list of numbers that we are passing here. And then we also get the count using the Python built-in function, and that's how we calculated the average here. So we get the final average at this point. So let's try running this function. Let's print final average trace, and then let's do control V. All right, so you see we got 15.4. So basically this is the basic usage of return. Return is used to perform a certain computation within the function, and then we return the result to another function to do or to whatever function it is that we want, so that we can then get the result and then use it for some other computation if we have to, or just print it out on the screen if that is what we want. But this is the basic idea of return statement, and fundamentally on the longest run the point of return is just to get some result from a function. So I think this brings us to the end of this video, and in the next video we're going to consider how to put everything together to build a more realistic program. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.